Well, hello and welcome to our special broadcast, Battle of Champions, coming to you live from Sydney. And it's 2 out of 2 for the Indian cricket team after winning that game against Pakistan in Melbourne. It was Netherlands that was up next for the men in blue, and it was a convincing performance from Rohit Sharma and his men. Joining us on this special broadcast, two former cricketers in Harbhajan Singh and Pragyan Ojha. I'll get their thoughts on this particular encounter and what must be India's plans going forward. Right, if I was to use one word for India's performance in this game, clinical would be that word. They did all the things right. Plenty of positives for the Indian team, and we'll discuss that. Harbhajan Singh, Pragyan Ojha with us. And since these are two spinners, I'm going to start with the two spinners that were on display. Bhajuba, I'll start with you. I know plenty of positives for the Indian team, and I'll talk about the batting a little later. Let's focus on the two spinners. Now, these two spinners didn't have a game, really, a standout game in that game versus Pakistan. Even leading up to that, Ashwin wasn't amongst the wicket. So this must be that match that they were looking for to boost their confidence.
Yeah, most definitely. I think this was kind of a great opportunity for them to showcase, of course, their skills and also to get their confidence back by taking wickets. Yeah, so this was a perfect kind of a match for them. Great outing for both the spinners by taking 2 wicket each. So it's definitely boost their confidence going forward, and it's important to have your spinners coming into the party and taking those important wickets in the middle overs. Sorry, because if you
Yeah.
don't take wickets in the middle overs, what happens then? Your batters who are batting in the middle orders, they go on to bat in the slog overs. Then they have the better chance to score a lot of runs. So it's important to take wickets in the middle overs. So that's exactly what Ashwin and Akshar Patel did, right? And I hope they'll continue with the same way going forward as well. Look to take wickets rather than containing the batsman.
Pragyan, how should we read India's performance in this game? Should we look at all the positives as if it's a World Cup game, so everything that they do should be taken very seriously, or should we look at it by with a pinch of salt, saying that listen, this was not the best opposition that they were facing in Netherlands, an associate nation. Also, they were playing in Sydney, sort of conditions that really helped the Indian spinners. How must one view this performance by India?
I think if you look at from this World Cup's point of view, it's a very important game because it is not just India's won convincingly, and what does that do? It adds value to the net run rate. And why are we talking about net run rate? Because in Australia it has been raining, and we saw few important games getting disturbed because of rain. And when you have those chances, and especially when you're playing against less experienced side, you need to capitalize on that. And I'm very glad that Rohit Sharma, along with his team and the think tank, they decided to bat first. They made a good total. They put the pressure back on Netherlands and ended up winning with a big margin. And look at what has happened to the net run rate. They are almost +1. That is brilliant. That is what will count later on. Now, normally in the initial day period we don't discuss about it, but if anything happens later on in the tournament, that is what we have seen always comes in handy. And when you are a champion side, you have been doing well and you are one of the favorites, what you need to do? You have to win games, and also you have to see what are the other things you need to cover. So in other things that you need to cover, this is one where they will be looking to capitalize, and they did. And the same thing they will try and do against Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I think Pragyan makes a very interesting point. Some things are in your control as far as performances are concerned, but some things are out of your control, like the weather gods. But they've been kind to the Indian team. Remember, Melbourne, there was a lot of talk about the rain coming down. The weather held up there. You got a full game here in Sydney as well. And before that, we saw a few games being washed out, and some teams had to share points. But India got a full game here and a clinical performance at that. Harbhajan, to you, I know it's still early days in the tournament. Two games that India has played so far. 2 out of 2 is what they've managed to win. But in the larger scheme of things, and I understand that the South Africa game is also important, but is it looking like, watching the Indian team, that most likely they should top their group?
Well, I certainly believe so. They should be at the top of the table end of this league round because they looked actually better team than the other teams, who have played in this competition, barring, South Africa. They are also a very strong team. Their batting looked really good today when they played the first game there. And they won convincingly against Bangladesh. So important game will be against South Africa in Perth, where the South African will fancy their chances because they feel their bowling is obviously fast and it will suit that kind of ground. So important game will be against South Africa. If we manage to win a game, do well against South Africa, I think India will be at the top of the table then. So yeah, but we have to obviously as a Indian fans and Indian, someone who played the game, we would like to see one game, like one step at a time, because next game is against South Africa and then think about the next one. Don't just now start thinking about the semi-final and the finals. I know a lot of people are now, after beating Pakistan, feeling that okay, this was our World Cup, whether you win or not. That's not the case. I think winning the World Cup is the most important thing, not beating Pakistan or not beating South Africa. So, but one step at a time, kind of a mentality should be implemented in terms of not just the team, but to all of us. We need to, back our team, but obviously it's one step at a time, kind of a mentality we need to all have.
Okay, as Harbhajan Singh points out there, one step at a time. Not just for the Indian team, but even for us Indian fans, you got to be aware of the fact that anything can happen in a World Cup game, and also that too in a T20 format. So you got to hold your horses. The next important game is versus South Africa. But talking about Indian fans and how they should look at India's performance going forward, let's talk about how they viewed India's performance here in the game versus Sydney. I was there at the SCG, caught up with a few Indian fans, and it felt like I wasn't in Australia at all. It felt like I was in any Indian city because it was a sea of blue that I got to witness. And this is what all the fans of the Indian team had to say after that Netherlands victory. Diwali celebrations are on.
ये इंडिया की सेलिब्रेशन है दिवाली हमने कर लिया सेलिब्रेट ऑलरेडी एक बार
This is the Diwali gift from Indian cricket team.
So he says Diwali gift from the Indian cricket team.
सर हम तो मेलबर्न भी गए थे अभी मेलबर्न भी गए थे
सिडनी से मेलबर्न हम सब जगह जाएंगे
अब पर्थ भी जाएंगे आप
हाँ सब जगह बिल्कुल
What is it that you enjoyed the most in the game?
विराट कोहली
It's
Virat Kohli.
all round
What
performance
else?
by the boys, batting, bowling, fielding, all on top.
I tell you one thing, 5 रुपए की पेप्सी हार्दिक पांड्या सेक्सी
Surya firepower was great, and overall bowling of Bhuvneshwar Kumar is great in beginning.
Okay, my good friend Sukumar is here. Sukumar, give us a shout for the Indian team. Come on.
So already before match only I told that already we won the match, but anyway for formalities we have to play. So as I said on India-Pakistan match, Virat Kohli gave every Indians across the world, he has given a Diwali bonus. Now we are going to win the trophy, so he is going to give a bonus to entire world, that for sure.
Now we are waiting for semi-finals here in SCG only.
India could play the.
Everywhere we will go.
They could go to Adelaide, they could come to SCG, they could be anywhere.
Sir, as a fan, like especially 2019 World Cup also, like more than a match, it's like a carnival, sir. We are enjoying. Yes. Entire India is enjoying the match.
So give me a shout out as you gave in the stadium. Come on.
Bharat Mata ki Jai! Bharat Mata ki Jai! अरे जीतेगा भाई जीतेगा
इंडिया जीतेगा
अरे जीत के भैया जीत गया
इंडिया जीत गया
भारत माता की जय जय ऑलवेज आवर सपोर्ट
वर्ल्ड कप इंडिया का ही है
So we heard it from the fans. They were celebrating Diwali. Of course, they celebrated Diwali a few days ago. But I liked what that one gentleman said, saying that every time India wins, it's sort of a Diwali for them. Surya Kumar Yadav saying that he really had a good time batting alongside Virat Kohli. Well, he must get used to it because it's been happening for quite some time. We saw that in the Asia Cup as well. The two of them sitting up a good partnership, as it happened today as well. And that is what propelled India to a more than respectable 179. Harbhajan Singh and Pragyan Ojha still with us. Harbhajan, we were talking about the positives, but if I had to nitpick, I think one area of concern was the form of the Indian openers. Would you say KL Rahul missed out on a good knock today? This could have been that knock that would have helped him come good in those crucial matches going forward. So a missed opportunity for KL Rahul, you'd say?
Yeah, most definitely. I think he was not out, and he just when umpire was not really convinced, but he sort of walked. When the ball hit his pad, he sort of walked, and then umpire looked at him and give him out. I think he should have taken the DRS. And today was a great opportunity for him to get those runs under his belt. Before he get to Perth and play against South Africa. Would have been nice to see him scoring those runs today. But yes, today was a missed kind of opportunity for him. But I still feel and I hope that he'll come good in Perth against the top bowling line, South Africa. Obviously they are probably the most dangerous side in terms of our pool. They looked probably the most stronger team than Pakistan or than any other team. I think KL will come good. Rohit have come to the party. Virat have scored runs, and Surya has been Surya. He's been shining for a long time, and I hope he continue to shine. And I would like to see KL scoring runs against South Africa and getting his group back.
Okay, Pragyan, to you as well. We heard on what Harbhajan had to say about KL Rahul. But what about Rohit Sharma? Missed opportunity for KL Rahul. Yes, all right. But there was a great chance for Rohit Sharma to score runs. He also had a drop catch, but made most of that opportunity. And, considering that you're going to be playing South Africa next with their fast bowling, if you needed one Indian batsman to strike some form before that South Africa game, because no one handles fast bowling probably better than Rohit Sharma, it was Rohit Sharma's form that's going to be crucial going forward.
I think, yes, with the experience he has and over the years, he's become a leader of the pack, and he understands the depth of the situation, why he needs to get those runs. It is not only for himself, it is for the team as well, because after a certain time your role changes. You're not only playing for yourself, now you're the leader, you have to get those runs for your team, and also those runs not only gives you confidence but to the next batsman as well. So I think, as I said, this was a preparatory match for Indian team, especially to put those left out boxes ticked. I'm really happy that Rohit got those runs, because Perth will be a different challenge, and maybe we'll see one less spinner in the team, because the conditions will be different, and you will see more of seam-up bowlers coming and bowling and attacking the batsmen. So I feel batsmen getting those runs, and maybe you will see one change in Perth.
Okay, that's food for thought. Thanks for setting that up, Pragyan. But for the moment, we're completely out of time. So Harbhajan Singh, Pragyan Ojha, thanks so much for joining us. Pragyan was talking about the changes that India might have to do when it comes to that South Africa game. That's a mouth-watering contest. We'll be building up on that on India today on our special program, Battle of Champions, that we're bringing to you live from Australia. Today we were in Sydney, but we'd be heading to Perth, the venue for India's next encounter. But for the moment, we're also going to leave you with this big news coming out of the cricketing world. The BCCI, in a landmark move, has now approved same match fee for both men's cricketer as well as the women's cricketer. So as I say, landmark move. If you were watching women's cricket maybe 10 years ago, it wasn't even at a professional level. To have imagined that in 10 years it's going to come this far, nobody would have thought 10 years ago. But that is a historic move. We've got all the details. Watch that. But we'll see you again tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye for now.